Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuronmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Uttama Shloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Nishreyasaya Lokasya Dhanyam Swastayanam Maha. Translation. This Srimad Bhagavatam is the literary incarnation of God, and it is compiled by Srila Vyasadeva, the incarnation of God. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people, and it is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. So, talking about Srimad Bhagavatam, this particular shloka, it says, Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam. So, this Purana, this Bhagavatam, what is this? Brahma Samhitam. It is literary incarnation of the Supreme Lord, Lord Sri Krishna. Uttama Shloka Charitam. What does it describe? It describes the Charita. It describes the pastimes, name, form, qualities, pastimes, glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is glorified by Uttama Shlokas, by best of the best hymns. Chakara Bhagavan Rishi. Okay, so who has written this Bhagavatam? The same Supreme Personality of Godhead comes down as Vyasadeva, and he himself writes about himself. Who else can tell about the Lord apart from himself? Nishreyasaya lokasya dhanyam swastayanam mahat. And this Bhagavatam is meant for the ultimate good of all the people in the age of Kali Yuga. It is all successful, all blissful, all perfect. This is Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, some more thing that is very beautifully spoken by Sutta Goswami to all the sages of Naima Sharanya. Krishne Swadhamo Upagate Dharmanyana Kalau Nashta Drishamesha Puranarko Dhunoditaha. So these sages had a question that when Krishna went back to Goloka Vrindavan, so now Dharma, Jnana and other great personalities, whom are they taking shelter of? Very important question that was asked. So at that time here it is said, Krishna Swadhama Upagate. So when Krishna went to his own abode, that is Goloka Vrindavan, at that time, Dharma Jnana Adibhisa, he came back again with Dharma, Jnana and others, with an intention of Kalau Nashta Drishamesha, to give the vision to those people in the age of Kali Yuga who have lost their vision of spiritual life, lost their vision of goal of life. Who is that? Purana, Arka, Adhunoditaha, the same Purana, Granthraj Srimad Bhagavatam. He has come down as Granthraj Srimad Bhagavatam. And this Bhagavatam, when it has appeared on this planet, it appears like a sun. And as soon as the sun rises, we see that all the darkness is completely removed. So this is what Srimad Bhagavatam does. So in these two shlokas, that is 1, 3, 40 and 43, it's very clear that Srimad Bhagavatam is non-different from Supreme Personality of Godhead. Recently one devotee was asking me that, Prabhuji, sometimes I have faith about Krishna, about various aspects of the Lord, his pastimes, his teachings. But some other time I don't have that faith. I feel maybe it's not true. Am I doing the right thing? And he was telling me, so then at that time I convinced myself, saying that see, still that Ram Setu, that bridge is still there, some remnants are there, floating stones are there. Kurukshetra is still there. We have some pastime places in Vrindavan. So I convinced myself like this, Prabhuji. So is it right? See, one thing is very clear. Always we cannot depend on our gross eyes. What can these gross eyes see? And how can they prove the existence of the Lord? What these gross senses can do? Therefore, when it comes to us as spiritualists, our faith on the trio is very important. Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Okay, one important question. Out of Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, which one comes first or at the top? Shastra comes at the top. Shastra, then the previous Acharya, Sadhus, and then comes Guru. So that's how Shastra, Sadhu, and Guru. And all of them will speak the same thing. Now, one point that we need to notice, if we don't have faith on Shastra, our spiritual life cannot begin. Because there are multiple stages, the 9 stages of Bhakti, starting from Shraddha till Prema. Now, to qualify the stage of Shraddha, one need to have unflinching faith on scriptures. Okay, if Shastra is saying, then I accept. That's it. Abhi uspe aur koi question nahi hai. So when we have such unflinching faith, such a person, such a sadhaka will be able to advance in Bhakti. But if the person wants to analyze himself with his gross senses, oh, that's not possible. Maybe now some floating stones might be there, but with Kali Yuga, people will steal that and keep that in the house also. You never know. You might not find them. And with time, various places in Dham, they'll all wind up. Because Lord will take all of that. So now, how will we verify them? Through Shastra. Therefore, when the question is asked, how do we establish that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead and He is Srimad Bhagavatam? And the answer is referred to Shastra. And especially Srimad Bhagavatam itself tells about itself. Now, we don't have any other scripture which talks about itself. But here we have a scripture, Srimad Bhagavatam, which talks about itself, and it says that Bhagavatam is none other than Krishna himself. And the best part of Srimad Bhagavatam is described by Srimad Bhagavatam. Why Bhagavatam is so much glorified? What is so great about Srimad Bhagavatam? Dharma projita kaitavatra paramo nirmatsaranam sata vedyam vastavamatra vastu shivadam tapatrayo moolanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Kim va parairishvaraha Sadyoritya Vrudyatetra Kritibhi Shushubhi Tachana. So this says, why Bhagavatam is glorified so much? What is so great about Srimad Bhagavatam? The first line itself clarifies it. It says, Dharma projita kaitavatra paramo. This particular scripture, Srimad Bhagavatam, it rejects all the cheating types of religion. What does it reject? It rejects all sorts of karma, all sorts of jnana. All the desires for moksha, dharma, artha, kam, moksha is all rejected in this. Why this is called as cheating type of religion? Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Good only that is. That is sense gratification. That will keep the person stuck in this material world. But moksha liberates. Now what if the person gets moksha? Why even that is condemned? There is no devotion. There is no service. So what's the point? So Bhagavatam says, Kaitava, this cheating. So it rejects. No. So who can actually accept Srimad Bhagavatam? Nirmatsaranam satam. Those devotees are free from envy. They are the ones who can accept Srimad Bhagavatam. Vedyam vastavam astravastu shivadam tapatrayo moolanam. Actually, this gives the highest truth, actual substance. And it creates all auspiciousness. And the person who is taking shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam is relieved of tapatraya. What are the tapatraya? Threefold miseries. What are those? Adhyatmika klesha, Adi bhautika klesha, Adi daivika klesha. Adhyatmika klesha, suffering caused by body and mind. Adi Bhautika Klesha, suffering caused by others. And Adi Daivika Klesha, natural calamities. How is it possible you read Bhagavatam and then all this goes away? What does that mean? It's not affecting us. When devotees take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam, at that time they get so much of strength that all these things will be there, but it will not affect us. It will not affect us. Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite. Who has written? Mahamuni has written. Who is that Mahamuni? Vyasadeva. He has penned it down for us. Kimva parer Ishvara? Why you want any other scripture? Bhagavatam is enough. Sadyo Ridya Vritya Tetra Kritabhi Shushubhi Tatshana. And another wonderful thing about Srimad Bhagavatam is anyone who hears Srimad Bhagavatam attentively, with rapt attention and absorption, for such a person, the Supreme Personality of Godhead immediately becomes, what should I say, imprisoned in the heart of the devotee. That's the greatness of Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, Bhagavatam is so much glorified because Bhagavatam, it picks and chooses only those incidences, those case studies which talks about pure devotional service. Simple example. In Bhagavatam, we have some sections of Mahabharata. Tell me some sections of Mahabharata in Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhishma Dev, no, he is lying on the bed of arrows. Or Bhishma Dev shooting arrows at Krishna. That part. Kunti Maharani offering prayers. Uttara running towards Krishna. Leave the house. Yes. Vidura chastising Dhritarashtra. Leave the house. So it's all part of Mahabharata, you see. But then only those sections are chosen which talks about pure devotional service. Now even Bhishma Dev's prayers, if we properly read that, normally devotees, they like pastimes. They go through the pastimes. Suddenly when prayers come, then all that page is flipped and then go to the next. But with time, as we advance in Bhakti, we will love the prayers more. Why we love the prayers more? Because in those prayers, we have that intense mood of devotional service embedded. And whose intense mood of devotional service? Those devotees who are offering those prayers. Therefore, with time, we see devotees start relishing those prayers. They start memorizing. They start reciting every day different prayers. So in this way, we see that from different parts of Mahabharata, there might be some sections that might be taken. Mahabharata has Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha description. But Srimad Bhagavatam just talks about Pancham Purushartha, and that is Krishna Prem. Pure devotional service. Therefore, it is said, Kaitava Dharma and all is taken away. All cheating religions are taken away. There's no question of that. Only Shuddha Bhakti, Shuddha Krishna Prem. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says, Bhagavatam is the topmost. Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadum Vargena Vakalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Premam Pumartho Maha Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhor Matamidam Tatradharana Paraha. So here, our Gaudiya Acharya, he's saying, Tatradharana Paraha. हमें कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता बाकी लोग क्या कहते हैं. Oh, why? Sri Chaitanya Matam. What we are interested in is, we want the mata, we want the opinion of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If he gives an opinion, all others' opinion we reject. It doesn't matter for us. So what is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's opinion? He says, Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanayas. Who is that Aradhya Bhagavan? Who is that most worshipable Lord? Vraja Isha Tanaya. Who is Vraja Isha Tanaya? Krishna, Nanda Maharaj's son. Vrajesha Tanayas. Tadhama Vrindavanam. Most worshipable holy place? Vrindavan. Therefore, devotees always want to keep going to Vrindavan. They want to meditate on Vrindavan. They want to talk about Vrindavan. Tadhama Vrindavan. Who are the topmost devotees? Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadhu. Vrajavadhu. All the gopis are topmost devotees. And in that, one more thing it is mentioned. Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadhu Vargena Vakalpita. Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Premam Pumartho Mahan. Goal of life is Krishna Prem. And what is the highest Praman? Srimad Bhagavatam. So, the 5 things that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving, he is saying, this is my opinion, this is highest. Worshipable Lord, Krishna. Worshipable land, Vrindavan. Topmost devotees, Gopis. The goal of life, Krishna Prem. And the topmost Praman, Srimad Bhagavatam. And you know what? The best part about Srimad Bhagavatam is, Srimad Bhagavatam describes all the 5. Srimad Bhagavatam describes about Krishna elaborately. Srimad Bhagavatam describes about the Gopis. Srimad Bhagavatam describes about Vrindavan. Srimad Bhagavatam describes about Krishna Prem. And the best part, Srimad Bhagavatam describes about Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, not just Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we are called as followers of Rupa Goswami. So, for your information, I was speaking all this in Vrindavan, so it's coming to my mind. So, we have Radha and Krishna, and we have all the Sakhis. So, among the principal Sakhis, the leader of all the Sakhis is Lalita Sakhi. And all these Sakhis are assisted by other Gopis that are called as Manjaris. And the leader of all the Manjaris is Rupa Manjari. So Rupa Manjari is assisting Lalita Sakhi. So from Lalita Sakhi, the services come down to Rupa Manjari and she distributes the services to others. And all of us, we are the followers of this personality, Rupa Manjari, who comes down to give us the wonderful scriptures like Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu in the form of Srila Rupa Goswami. Now, Rupa Goswami, in the same mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, hearing from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gives us 64 angas of bhakti. He lists down, starting from Guru Padashraya till the end. All the 64 angas he lists down. And after that, he tells what are those five prominent, potent limbs of bhakti by which we can easily attain Krishna Prem. What are those 5? And he says, please repeat. Sadhu Sangha Nama Kirtan, Bhagavat Shravan, Mathura Vasa Shri Murtera, Shraddhaya Sevan, Sakala Sadhana Shrestha, Ei Panchanga, Krishna Prema Janmaya, Ei Panchera Alpasanga. So Srila Rupa Goswami, he has heard from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he writes in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that there are 5 powerful, very, very powerful angas of bhakti. What are those 5 powerful angas of bhakti? First is Sadhu Sangha, association of devotees. And specifically when we talk about devotee, which devotees, we should have that understanding also. Association of those who are having higher realizations than us and who are compassionate onto us. This is very important. Who can help us to go up. Not that you call anyone a devotee and then you say, I'm associating with that devotee. And what do you do in devotee association? Gossip. And do what? Degrade in bhakti. Therefore, sadhu sangha means associating with that person who is at least little higher than us and who is compassionate on us to give us his association. Sadhu sangha. Second is Nama Kirtan, chanting of the holy names. I don't think I need to describe about chanting of the holy names. Third, Bhagavat Shravan, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, studying Srimad Bhagavatam. Fourth, Mathuravas, staying in a holy place where Lord has performed his pastimes. Shri Murtaya Shraddhaya Sevan, deity worship. And he says, Sakala Sadhana Shrestha Ei Panchanga. Out of all the 64 angas of bhakti, the most Shrestha are these 5. And he says, Krishna Prema Janmaya Ei Panchera Alpasanga. And these 5 have so much of power that anyone who associates with them even little, they have the power to give birth to Krishna Prema. Therefore, all of us as devotees, we should be very greedy. कि थोड़े investment में maximum return कैसे मिले? And here we have the shortcut given by our Acharya. And he says, these 5, even little you do, that will give a great benefit, great returns. And out of that one is Bhagavad Shravan. Therefore, when we come together like this and hear Srimad Bhagavatam, when we read Srimad Bhagavatam, we need to understand we are doing one of the topmost 5 angas of bhakti. That's it. Just that thought itself will give us a lot of energy. When you sit with Bhagavatam, that itself will give a lot of energy to read Srimad Bhagavatam. So in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave his mata. Rupa Goswami is telling us how great Srimad Bhagavatam is. So the question comes, how to receive Srimad Bhagavatam? How to study Srimad Bhagavatam? And the answer is given in the verses which we are discussing, the series of verses. Tad idam grayamasa sutam atmavatam sarva vedita hasana saram samudritam. So here it is said that Srila Vyasadeva, he spoke Bhagavatam. To whom? Vyasadeva spoke Bhagavatam. We heard Vyasadeva wrote Bhagavatam. But Vyasadeva spoke Bhagavatam to topmost devotee, that is Shukadev Goswami. He spoke Srimad Bhagavatam to Shukadev Goswami. Now Shukadev Goswami is such a great personality, you can imagine. When Parikshit Maharaj is sitting on the banks of Ganga, about to leave his body, just 7 days are remaining. All the sages have assembled there. And Shukadev Goswami, he enters after everyone is sitting there. He enters that arena. As soon as Shukadev Goswami enters, everyone gets out. And let me tell you who are there in that place. We had Parshuram with his disciples. We had various other rishis. All great personalities. All of them, they got up. So now you can imagine how great Shukadev Goswami is. To this great personality, Vyasadeva gave Bhagavatam. He spoke Bhagavatam to Shukadev Goswami. He trained Shukadev Goswami in Srimad Bhagavatam. Because Vyasadeva knew very well, in future, Shukadev Goswami will be the speaker. Therefore, he became the speaker. Where he became the speaker? Satu samshravayamasa Maharajam Parikshitam Prayopavishtam Gangaya Paritam Paramarshibhihi. So when Parikshit Maharaj was sitting on the banks of Ganga without food and water, at that time Shukadeva Goswami comes there. And that Srimad Bhagavatam, which he had heard from his father Vyasadeva, he delivers that to Parikshit Maharaj. Okay, so Vyasadeva to Shukadeva Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj. After that, who? Tatra kirtayato vipra viprarsher bhuri tejasah aham chadya gamam tatra nivishtashtad anugraha soham vaha shravayishyami yathadhitam yathamati. So all the sages of Naimisharanya, they requested Suta Goswami, you please speak something that is the ultimate good for everyone in the age of Kali Yuga. And at that time, Shukadeva Goswami, with a lot of humility, he says, I will speak something which I have heard. What you have heard? Where you have heard? In which assembly? He says, in that same assembly where the great discourse happened, where Shukadeva Goswami was speaking to Parikshit Maharaj, I was also sitting there. So others might ask, you remember everything? 7 days katha? See, it was not some 1.5 hour katha like we have. 7 days straight, day and night put together. Katha is going on. So he says, look at the word. Nivishtas. He says, I've heard it with rapt attention. I've heard it with rapt attention now. Yatha dhitam yathamati. And I will speak as I've learned and as I've realized to all of you. This great transcendental literature, that is Srimad Bhagavatam. So in this way, from Vyasadeva, it came to Shukadeva Goswami, from Shukadeva Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj. And in that assembly, Suta Goswami was sitting. And Suta Goswami spoke to Shaunakadi Rishis. And for the benefit of all of us, Srila Vyasadeva, he penned it down. He wrote. So Vyasadeva, for the first time, he gave book. Shastra was never in the form of books. Shastra was given in the form of books to all of us because we are very, very intelligent. Because we have lot of memory power. Because we have long lifespan. And we are extremely smart. We are not disturbed at any time. So therefore, we are in need of a grantha, and it was given to us by Vyasadeva. So now it's very important to note, when we are studying Srimad Bhagavatam, how are we supposed to study Srimad Bhagavatam? Eka Bhagavata Bada Bhagavata Shastra Ara Bhagavata Bhakta Bhakti Rasa Patra. There are two types of Bhagavatam. One is Grantha Bhagavat and second one is Bhakta Bhagavat. And here it is said, Dui Bhagavata Dwara Diya Bhakti Rasa Tahara Hridaye Tara Prema Haya Vasha. So when we study Srimad Bhagavatam in the guidance of a Bhagavat, person Bhagavat, what happens? These two personalities together, they instill Bhakti Rasa in our heart, Krishna Prem in our heart. Sarup Damodar, that is secretary of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when anyone would go to him, he would tell this. Jaha Bhagavata Pada Vaishnavera Sthane Ekanta Ashray Kara Chaitanya Charane. If you really want to understand Bhagavatam, take shelter of personality Bhagavat. Therefore, Prabhupada writes that if you really want to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, study Srimad Bhagavatam under a devotee. Not a professional Bhagavat reciter who will charge, who will say, I will come for recitation of Bhagavatam, 5 lakh to banta hai. I'm thinking at least till the temple is constructed, I shall do this. So there are many people who do that, professional Bhagavat reciters. And Prabhupada writes, why they want money? For sex indulgence, for sense gratification. Prabhupada writes in the purport. From such people, if we hear Srimad Bhagavatam, we can never understand Srimad Bhagavatam. Not possible. Therefore, to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, we have to understand it from the person Bhagavat who is living by the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam. And how fortunate we are. Whenever we open Srimad Bhagavatam, as given by Srila Prabhupada, we directly associate and take shelter of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, when we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam as given by Prabhupada, we are in direct association of Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada is teaching. Beta dekho, this is word to word meaning. This is word to. Previously, no one has given word to word meaning. It's Prabhupada who has given word to word meaning. It's almost like small kids. Parents are teaching small kids. A for, yes, Arjun. You all are about to say apple? So something like that. So Srila Prabhupada literally has done the spoon feeding where everything he has given. Everything. So whenever we read Srimad Bhagavatam, the Mool Shlokas, word to word meaning, translation and the purport, we are directly studying Srimad Bhagavatam under the guidance of Srila Prabhupada. And since we are beings of Kali Yuga, and as I already said, we are smart, we are intelligent, high memory power, always stable, etc. To study a Grantha by one's own self is difficult. Therefore, we again need a living person along with the Acharya's commentaries to understand it very properly. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam is so glorious. Now, when we study Srimad Bhagavatam like this, then we will realize how glorious is Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Sanatan Goswami, in his childhood, look at these Goswamis, how great they were. In the childhood of Sanatan Goswami, one night he got a dream. And in that dream, a Brahmana came. And that Brahmana was having a Bhagavatam in the hand. And he gave that Bhagavatam to Sanatan Goswami. Small boy in the dream. And Sanatan Goswami was extremely happy. And he gets up. And guess what? That Brahmana was standing at the door with the Bhagavatam. They give Bhagavatam to Sanatan Goswami. Therefore, I say our Acharyas are not ordinary. These personalities whom we worship in the altar, they are not ordinary. They are all, great word is very less for them. It's very small for them. Extraordinary, extraordinary. So this Sanatan Goswami, he writes 5 verses glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam. Sarva Shastrabdi Piyusha Sarva Vedaika Satphala Sarva Siddhanta Ratnadhya Sarva Lokaika Drikprada. Now it says Sarva Shastrabdi Piyusha. So if we consider all the scriptures as Abdi, big ocean, and after churning the ocean, what comes out is nectar. You all know where the ocean was churned? Where? Srimad Bhagavatam, Haribol. 8th canto Srimad Bhagavatam. So in Samudra Manthan pastime, when the Devatas and the Asuras, when they churned the ocean, milk ocean, at that time what came out is the nectar. So after churning all the Vedic scriptures, what comes out is nectar, and that nectar is none other than Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Sarva Vedaika Satphala. So first is it is nectar. Second, if we consider all the Vedic scriptures to be a huge tree, then the best of the best ripened fruit is Srimad Bhagavatam. Sarva Siddhanta Ratnadhya. This Srimad Bhagavatam, it has got the gems, all the precious gems of Siddhanta. See, Srimad Bhagavatam is very glorious because Srimad Bhagavatam is not just having some pastimes of devotees and the Lord. It has got Siddhanta in between the pastimes. And anyone who understands the Siddhanta, that person can actually go deep in devotional service. Therefore, anyone who associates with Srimad Bhagavatam naturally will elevate in Krishna consciousness. No doubt about that. Sarva Lokaika Drikprada. And now, especially in the age of Kali Yuga, when we have lost the vision, when we don't understand what is the goal of life, at that time, Srimad Bhagavatam acts as the torch bearer. It shows us where we are supposed to go. It gives us a proper path and direction to go towards the ultimate goal of life. Arthoyam Brahma Sutranam Bharatartha Vinirnayah Gayatri Bhashya Ruposav Vedartha Paribhrimmitah. Here it is saying that Artho Ayam Brahma Sutranam. The meaning of Vedanta Sutra is present in Srimad Bhagavatam. If someone asks you on the street while distributing books, क्या आप वेदांत सूत्र पढ़े हो? क्या आप वेदांत पढ़े हो? Confidently बोलना चाहिए. घर पे है, पढ़ूंगा. और किसी ने पढ़ा है तो बोल भी सकता है, yes, I have read. What is that? Srimad Bhagavatam. So, the meaning of Vedanta Sutra is present in Srimad Bhagavatam. Bharatartha Vinirnayah. क्या आप महाभारत पढ़े हो? Today people will say, नहीं देखे हैं हम. We have seen. So here it is said, even if you have not read Mahabharata, no problem. Because the full purport of Mahabharata is present in Srimad Bhagavatam. Do you understand the greatness of Gayatri Mantra, Brahma Gayatri? Do you understand the purport of Brahma Gayatri? And the answer is, yes, I understand. Because the purport of Brahma Gayatri, the commentary of Brahma Gayatri is Srimad Bhagavatam. Fully expanded in Srimad Bhagavatam. And now, very beautifully it is described. Puranam Samarupah Sakshat Bhagavatoditah Dvadasha Skanda Yuktoyam Sata Vicheda Samyutah Grantho Satadasha Sahasrah Srimad Bhagavatabdhidah. Very nice. It says, what is Srimad Bhagavatam? Srimad Bhagavatam is incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Consistency in our Shastra is so wonderful. Same thing is spoken in all different Puranas. Srimad Bhagavatam is incarnation of Krishna. And how many skandas are there? Dasha skanda. How many? 12 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. How many verses are there in Srimad Bhagavatam? 18,000 verses are there in Srimad Bhagavatam. Ashtadasha Sahasrashah. 18,000 verses. So in this way we understand how Bhagavatam, it encompasses all the teachings of different scriptures, especially Vedanta Sutra and Mahabharata as we recited now. And Srimad Bhagavatam itself tells. Now this is very fascinating. Bhagavatam speaks about itself. Bhagavatam says, Sarva Vedanta Saram Hi Srimad Bhagavatam Ishyate Tadrasamrita Triptasya Nanyatra Syadrati Kvache. So here it is said, Sarva Vedanta Saramhi. The essence of all the Vedanta philosophy is given in Srimad Bhagavatam. So many times when preachers meet Mayavadis, they ask this question, that have you studied Vedanta? I know the essence of Vedanta, and that is Srimad Bhagavatam. Sarva Vedanta Saramhi. Srimad Bhagavatam Ishyate. Another very nice thing that is given is, Tad rasamrita triptasya nanyatra syad rati kvachit. So that person who has read Srimad Bhagavatam and has felt that satisfaction by reading Srimad Bhagavatam, that person will not be attracted by anything of this material world. Not possible. Therefore, I always pray this and always inspire people to pray that, oh Lord, please, with any of my insignificant services, please bless me with ruchi for Srimad Bhagavatam, for reading Srimad Bhagavatam, taste for reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Because once we feel satisfaction in reading Srimad Bhagavatam, फिर कुछ भी जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगा. Nama ruchi and Bhagavat ruchi, these are the two things we want, these two tastes. And then the entire world will become tuchha, insignificant. Now the entire world is very, very significant in our life because we don't have the ruchi, we don't have taste for Nama and for Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the unfortunate situation that currently we are in. But surely, when we show our sincerity, this taste will be awarded to us. Please understand, the taste can never be cultivated by one's own self. The taste is always gifted because a treasure is always gifted, or treasure is always awarded to that person who is very sincere. And as soon as we say the word sincere, what does that mean? Sincere means you have only one goal, that I want to attain eternal service of Krishna. Bas aur kuch nahi chahiye mujhe. With that mood I endeavor every day, with proper, consistent mood, consistently endeavoring in bhakti or sadhana bhakti, to be more specific. Just by doing this, we'll be given this, we'll be awarded with the treasure of ruchi or taste. Then all these things will come into picture where we'll not get attracted to anything of this world. Then Sanatan Goswami, he glorifies further. Sarva Bhagavata Prana Srimad Bhagavata Prabho Kali Dvanto Ditaditya Shri Krishna Paravartita. See, only that person who has experienced can make such a statement. He says, Sarva Bhagavata Prana. So what is Bhagavatam for Vaishnavas, for devotees? Prana, life air. So if devotees are given two options, I'm talking about devotees, not practicing devotees. Yes. So whenever the word devotee comes, bhakta comes in Shastra, we're talking about Shuddha Bhakta. So for them, if two options are given, that we have Srimad Bhagavatam, option A, option B, feast, food. And you can choose only one of it. And you have to stay with it for a good number of days or weeks. So what will you choose? And if this question is asked to sadhakas, no doubt they will choose prasad. See, Krishna and prasad are non-different. We have all the philosophy to substantiate our point. Krishna and prasad same. So I want to stay close to Krishna. Prabhu, Bhagavatam is also Krishna. No, Prabhu, okay, first this Krishna I'll associate, then this Krishna. But when it comes to pure devotees, for them, they want to remain with Srimad Bhagavatam. Because for them, they have Bhagavatam in front, they don't want anything in this world, they're absorbed in Srimad Bhagavatam. How much are they absorbed? They're absorbed like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Gadadhar Pandit were absorbed in reading Srimad Bhagavatam. In Jagannath Puri, place called Tota Gopinath. So in Tota Gopinath, in the entire universe, there's only one deity of Krishna which is sitting with crossed leg. That's my favorite deity. Very beautiful. So that place Gadadhar Pandit was staying. Now this Gadadhar Pandit, close associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he had taken Kshetra Sannyas and he was worshipping Tota Gopinath every day, serving Tota Gopinath in various ways. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would come in the afternoon and Gadadhar Pandit would recite Srimad Bhagavatam. So they had one manuscript, they would recite Srimad Bhagavatam. Now the wonderful thing is, Gadadhar Pandit is in the mood of Srimati Radharani. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna in the mood of Srimati Radharani. And both of them, when they are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, they are shedding tears. The tears are so profuse that the tears were wetting Srimad Bhagavatam. So, on the auspicious day of Bhadra Purnima, we worship Srimad Bhagavatam not by doing Abhishek. Yes. We don't do Abhishek of Srimad Bhagavatam. We study Srimad Bhagavatam. The important point is that these two personalities, they were studying Srimad Bhagavatam. They were so absorbed studying Srimad Bhagavatam and relishing Srimad Bhagavatam that emotions they were not able to hold within, and those were coming out from the eyes in the form of tears. And see, when the tears go down like this, then there's no question of wetting Srimad Bhagavatam. You wet only yourself. But now when these personalities are sitting with Srimad Bhagavatam, just imagine you're sitting like this and tears are flowing like this. How can Bhagavatam get wet? But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would cry, so at that time he's holding Srimad Bhagavatam and tears would fall like this on Srimad Bhagavatam. Gadadhar Pandit would cry, tears would fall like this on Srimad Bhagavatam, and Bhagavatam would get wet. And the best part is, every day they would read same pastimes. Which pastime they were reading? They were not reading Rasa Leela or something. They were reading pastimes of Dhruv Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, and such pastimes. Now there is a craze, Rasa Leela के बारे में कुछ बताइए. अरे देखो भगवान क्या कर रहे हैं वो देखो. भगवान स्वयं पढ़ रहे प्रहलाद महाराज, ध्रुव महाराज के बारे में. They would cry profusely. So after completing the Bhauma pastime, the earthly pastimes, Lord Chaitanya, he left this world. He went to his eternal abode, Goloka Vrindavan. Gadadhar Pandit was alone. But before leaving, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had told, one very great devotee would come to you to learn Srimad Bhagavatam. And his name is Srinivas Acharya. So Gadadhar Pandit wanted to die immediately. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left, he also wanted to leave. What is the point of living in this world when my Prananath is gone? That was the mood of Gadadhar Pandit. But he stayed because there was service given. Because for devotees, service is more important than the proximity of the Lord. So now what happened is Srinivas Acharya, he came to Jagannath Puri, or he was coming to Jagannath Puri with the mood that I will meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then he heard Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has left. He went mad. But still he went to Jagannath Puri to see those different pastime places, to meet the associates of the Lord. And Srinivas Acharya, he came to Gadadhar Pandit and he requested, please teach me Srimad Bhagavatam. And Gadadhar Pandit said, I will teach you Srimad Bhagavatam because that's an instruction given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and that instruction I want to fulfill. But he said, I have a problem. And the problem is, I don't have a book. I don't have Srimad Bhagavatam. How will I teach you? And he showed whatever he had. And that book, the lipis were not visible. It is all wet, it's gone. And Srinivas Acharya asked, why? What happened? What happened to this Bhagavata? What happened to this book? And Gadadhar Pandit explained that myself and our Lord Chaitanya, we would read Srimad Bhagavatam with absorption and we would keep crying so much it has got wet and all the akshara are gone. So Srinivas Acharya said, what should I do now? So immediately Gadadhar Pandit sent a message to a personality called Narari Sarkar in Bengal. And he said, we want a copy of Srimad Bhagavatam. Do you have it? कहाँ से गया message? Jagannath Puri se, Bengal. And then there is a message that comes back saying, I have it. You send a messenger. I'll send the Bhagavatam with him. So personally, Srinivas Acharya left to go. So while leaving, Gadadhar Pandit told him, see, somehow I am holding prana in my body. Come back soon. because I never know when I'll be leaving this world. Srinivas Acharya was in his own ecstasy. He went around meeting devotees. He went to Bengal. Then, he met another set of devotees there. Then he got Bhagavatam and he came back. And while coming back, he got to know that Gadadhar Pandit has left. Now, when I was reading this pastime, I was thinking, firstly, the absorption of Gadadhar Pandit and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu while reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Itna absorption, same pastime, again and again they're reading and still they're profusely crying. Because those pastimes talk about pure devotional subject matter. One thing which all of us have to analyze in our own self, it's a litmus test. When there's a Bhagavatam class going on or when we're reading Srimad Bhagavatam, what attracts our attention? Where is our consciousness going towards? So if it is going towards the principles of Shuddha Bhakti, then we are on the right path. But if it's going towards some other aspects given, some information here and there, and we're not attracted to the subject matter of Shuddha Bhakti, then I think we have to correct ourselves the way we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, offering right prayers to the Lord. So here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Gadadhar Pandit so absorbed while reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Second thing I was thinking, they didn't have multiple copies of Srimad Bhagavatam at that time. To get one copy of Srimad Bhagavatam, the person had to travel from Jagannath Puri to Bengal. And look at us, how fortunate we are. You just call and you tell, I want a set of Srimad Bhagavatam. And the Bhagavatam is delivered to your place. Yes. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. He knows very well if you have to travel such long distance to get Bhagavatam, हम कभी नहीं लेके आएंगे Bhagavatam. लाने के बाद भी खोलते नहीं उसको. After Bhagavatam installation, Bhagavatam remains installed like that only. With the cover around. But look at the greatness. Look at the greatness. To get one authentic copy of Bhagavatam, Srinivas Acharya had to travel all the way from Jagannath Puri to Bengal. And our great fortune, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, is Bhagavatam is available everywhere, in all our centers. So, Sarva Bhagavata Prana Srimad Bhagavatam Prabhu. Oh Bhagavatam, you are my life and soul, Sanatan Goswami said. Kali Dhvanto Aditya Sri Krishna Parivartita. You have actually appeared to dispel the darkness in the age of Kali Yuga. Next. Paramananda Pathaya Prema Varshaksharayate Sarvada Sarva Sevyaya Shri Krishnaya Namostute. I offer my obeisances to whom? To Srimad Bhagavatam. Who are you, Srimad Bhagavatam? Sanatan Goswami is saying, you are Krishna himself. Oh Bhagavatam, you are Krishna himself. Paramananda Pathaya. By reading you, oh Srimad Bhagavatam, by studying you, by studying Srimad Bhagavatam, there's Paramananda that a person gets, transcendental bliss that the person gets. Paramananda Pathaya. Prema Varshi Aksharayate. And that person who is relishing Srimad Bhagavatam, in every syllable, he finds rains of pure devotional service. Sarvada Sarva Sevyaya. Now there is no time that is given, that only at this time you have to read Srimad Bhagavatam. Any time, any person can read Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, in the age of Kali Yuga, Mahamantra, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. These are our saviors. So somehow, if we can take shelter of these entities, these spiritual transcendental entities, our life will be successful. If we don't take shelter of this and keep beating around the bush doing some other activities, there is no question of attaining the Supreme Lord in this very life. Very difficult. With the same mood, Sanatan Goswami, he continues glorifying and he says, very beautiful shloka. Madeka bandho matsangin Madguro man mahadhana Man nistaraka madbhagya Mad ananda namostute. O Bhagavatam, I offer obeisances unto you. Who is Bhagavatam for me? Sanatan Goswami is saying, Madeka bandho, you are my only friend. Everyone else will leave, oh Bhagavatam, everyone else will leave, but you will never leave me, I know. Madeka Bandhu, you're my only friend. Mat Sangin, you're my constant companion. It's so nice. You read Srimad Bhagavatam and then you just close your eyes and recollect. You're always in association of Srimad Bhagavatam. Madguru, you're my guru, you're my spiritual master. Because you have taught me pure devotional service. Man Mahadhana, you are my great wealth. I always say this. You might have a lot of money, a lot of opulence, but if you don't have Srimad Bhagavatam at your place, you're actually a pauper, a beggar. But that person who does not have any opulence, but he has Srimad Bhagavatam, he is very, very wealthy. Very, very wealthy in the eyes of devotees, in the eyes of all the Golokavasis. They see that, oh, this person is very wealthy. This person is very wealthy. Why? Because he has Srimad Bhagavatam. Why? So great. Why Srimad Bhagavatam is so great? If you ask them, they will say, Srimad Bhagavatam is not different from Krishna. If you have Srimad Bhagavatam, you have Krishna. So like all of us, we might be doing deity worship. We do Archana Vidhi, Gandha, Pushpa, Dhoop, Deep, Naivedya. That's how we associate with deities. Similarly, when we want to associate with another form of the Lord, another deity form of the Lord, that is Srimad Bhagavatam. You just need to sit with Bhagavatam and read Srimad Bhagavatam. Sometimes devotees say that we don't get time. See, it's not about time, it's about taste. And how do we develop that relationship with Srimad Bhagavatam? How do we develop relationship with any person in this world? That's it. Spend time. That's it. Just sit with Bhagavatam. Just keep reading. In 1 minute, you're sleeping 100 times, no problem. Still sit with Bhagavatam. Keep reading. You're understanding something, not understanding something, no problem. Keep reading. And just by doing this with time, we'll develop relationship with Srimad Bhagavatam. And then when Bhagavatam starts reciprocating, by revealing us various different subject matters of Shuddha Bhakti, Krishna Prem, then we'll start getting goosebumps in every line. Every word, every akshara of Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, we see great devotees. For them, one verse they can go on speaking for many, many days. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he gave a class or he gave discourse on first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. And that discourse went on for 30 plus days. One verse. Our Acharyas. Our Acharyas. So in this way, we see Srimad Bhagavatam is a great wealth. Man Nistaraka, you are my deliverer, O Bhagavatam. Mad Bhagya, you are my great fortune. Mad Ananda, you are my bliss. This is called as possessiveness towards Bhagavatam. If someone develops that relationship and you're possessive for Srimad Bhagavatam, why will Bhagavatam leave you? This is what we see. When we read the prayers of Acharyas, this is what we see. Yes. And look at Srila Prabhupada. When he was going to West, he had 40 rupees, as all of us know. In the words of Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada said, Bhagavatam is going to West. I am accompanying Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes. Prabhupada was carrying 200 copies of first canto Srimad Bhagavatam. And Prabhupada would get a lot of solace when he would open the trunk and see the Bhagavatam. Very happy, very happy. This was the thing, or this was the act of our Acharya by which we understand that Bhagavatam is Mahadhana, is the great wealth. And we could see in the life of Prabhupada how much importance he gave to Srimad Bhagavatam. How much importance. And the last shloka for today, which glorifies Srimad Bhagavatam. And this last shloka and all the 5 shlokas, including the last one, coming directly from the heart of Sanatan Goswami. And this last shloka is very much touching and penetrating in our hearts. Asadhu sadhu tadain ati nichocha takara hana muncha kadachinma premna ritkantayo spura. So what does Srimad Bhagavatam do? Srimad Bhagavatam does miracles. Once Srila Prabhupada was asked, can you show us some magic? And Prabhupada said, pointing towards his disciples, this is my magic. Asadhus converted to sadhus. This is my magic. Prabhupada was a great magician, no doubt. Or I should say, Prabhupada is a great magician. And that power comes from Srimad Bhagavatam. So, what does Srimad Bhagavatam do? Srimad Bhagavatam gives saintliness to unsaintly people. It converts rogues into devotees. Just by associating with Srimad Bhagavatam, this takes place. We might be very, very fallen. Very, very fallen. But then Srimad Bhagavatam, by its strong association, delivers the person. So when we read Srimad Bhagavatam attentively, when we hear Srimad Bhagavatam attentively, when we glorify Srimad Bhagavatam nicely, this is what takes place. We, the demons, with time will become devotees. And one very nice thing here Sanatan Goswami is saying is, Hana muncha kadachinma. Mujhe aap kabhi mat chhodiye. Please never leave me, O Bhagavatam. Please never leave me. Therefore, see, Srila Prabhupada is such a genius. He made it an official thing in ISKCON to have a Bhagavatam class every day at the same time. Every day, at 8 o'clock, you go to any ISKCON temple. It begins, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yes, Prabhupada knew very well, if the Kali Yuga beings who are so contaminated have to get transformed, then they will get transformed through Bhagavatam. One practical tip for all the devotees. If you really want to understand the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam and receive mercy of Srimad Bhagavatam, when you start reading, first thing that you have to do is recite the shloka multiple times. Because the Mool shlokas have a lot of power, spiritual potency. Therefore, when you recite it multiple times, Bhagavatam is very pleased and Bhagavatam will bless. Therefore, whenever we're reading Srimad Bhagavatam, at least 2-3 times we should recite that shloka. In fact, when Bhagavatam classes began in ISKCON, at that time, Bhagavat shloka recitation would go on for 30 minutes, 45 minutes. All the devotees would recite. Now imagine here there are 100 devotees sitting. The speaker would say, okay, all 100 devotees recite. So each devotee would recite, then others will repeat. This is called as Avritti. You repeat. So in this way, Bhagavatam classes began in ISKCON. So imagine how much importance Srila Prabhupada gave for the recitation of different shlokas. Because these shlokas are very powerful. Just by reciting these shlokas, you understand the meaning, don't understand. Doesn't matter. What matters is, are you reciting or not? And we understand from various other Puranas that how Srimad Bhagavatam has the power to convert a sadhu into sadhu. The famous pastime which comes in Bhagavat Mahatmya, a personality Dhundukari, he became a ghost. And his brother Gokarna, he wanted to deliver Dhundukari from the ghostly body. He went to different places like Gaya to do the samskaras. But even after doing samskaras, this personality Dhundukari was not getting delivered from ghostly body. Then finally, Gokarna, he called everyone for a Bhagavatam class. All the villagers came. And he kept a bamboo stick. And that bamboo stick had got 7 knots. And this class went on for 7 days. All the villagers sat and they heard. Now this ghost was actually troubling many people around. But this ghost came in that bamboo stick. It took shelter there. And it is described, Gokarna with pure devotional mood would recite Srimad Bhagavatam. And after every single day, end of that particular day, 1 knot in that bamboo stick would burst. And like that, after 7 days, all the knots in the bamboo stick bursted, and in front of the eyes of many people, this Dhundukari, who was a sadhu, he got a divine form, a form which Vaikuntha-vasis have, and he went back home, back to Godhead. And all the people there, they said, we also heard Srimad Bhagavatam. Nothing happened with us. And Gokarna said, the one who was desperate to get rid of the ghostly body, he heard it very attentively. You people are attentive sometimes and sometimes not. So all the villagers, they said, aur ek saptah ho jaye. Let's have class again. And then Gokarna again he gave a very wonderful discourse, and guess what? That entire place got delivered. So asadhu sadhuta dain. This is what Srimad Bhagavatam does. And finally, the last thing, which is very important for all the Bhagavatam speakers, this is what we should pray to Bhagavatam when we start the Bhagavatam discourse. Premna rit kantayospura. O Bhagavatam, please become manifested in my heart and in my throat, accompanied by pure love of Krishna. So whenever you all start your Bhakti Vriksha classes, or Bhakti Vriksha sessions, or Bhagavatam sessions, or any sessions where you're going to speak from Bhagavatam, this is what we should pray. That, oh Bhagavatam, you manifest in my heart, you manifest in my throat with pure love for Krishna, pure devotional subject matter. And Bhagavatam will do the needful. हमें तो आता जाता है नहीं कुछ. Bhagavatam will do the needful. In this way, the great Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, is offering prayer, glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam. And by all these verses, we understand very clearly, Bhagavatam is that great scripture which we are supposed to drink, not through eyes, not through nose, not through mouth, but through ears. Allow the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam to enter the ears and let it go to the heart. And Bhagavatam has the power to cleanse our heart, and that day will not be very far when the devotees will jump in ecstasy because Krishna will enter their heart. Therefore, whenever we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, we should pray to Bhagavatam. Oh Bhagavatam, you're so glorious. You're so glorious. You have bestowed pure devotional service to so many people. I am the one who don't have pure devotional service. I don't have the mood of pure devotional service. You please reveal to me the various pure devotional subject matters which are hidden in you. And trust me, if you are a sincere soul, sincerely aspiring to attain Krishna's eternal service, in every akshara of Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam will reveal pure devotional subject matter. And every time you read, every time you are inspired and you become enthusiastic to render pure devotional service. That's the greatness of Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, this is the prayer for Bhagavatam. And the most important thing that we have to do is offer prayers to Srila Prabhupada and Guru and the entire Guru Parampara. Because by their mercy, we have got Bhagavatam so close to our hearts now. And by their mercy, we can understand Srimad Bhagavatam deeply. By their mercy, we have some hopes that someday we will also get the tag of a devotee. And with that tag, we'll be allowed to enter the eternal service of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki, Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki.